When we hear the names of famous people in history, our minds create a fixed image. Strong leaders, fearless warriors, brilliant minds, people who always knew what they were doing, people who never doubted themselves, people who never failed. But history often hides the most important truth. The people who changed the world were not perfect. They were deeply human. They struggled. They feared. They hesitated. They broke down, silently. Today, we are not talking about dates or battles. We are talking about the hidden habits, the private struggles, and the unspoken sides of some of the most famous people who ever lived. Because real history lives there. Part 1. Napoleon Bonaparte, a man who feared silence more than war. Napoleon Bonaparte is remembered as one of the greatest military minds in history. A man who led armies. A man who reshaped Europe. A man whose name still echoes in textbooks. But behind the image of power was a man deeply uncomfortable with people. Napoleon disliked long conversations. He avoided social gatherings whenever possible. Crowded rooms made him uneasy. Instead of speaking, he preferred writing. Orders, plans, letters. Writing gave him control. Many historians believe Napoleon struggled with anxiety before major battles. He would isolate himself completely. He believed that silence helped him hear destiny. He once said, "A battle is decided in the mind long before it is fought." Ironically, the man who commanded thousands was constantly fighting his own thoughts. Part 2. Abraham Lincoln, the smiling face of hidden pain. Abraham Lincoln is remembered as a symbol of honesty and leadership. Tall, calm, wise. But very few people know that Lincoln lived with deep, recurring depression long before he became president. He experienced periods of extreme sadness, so intense that his friends feared for his life. At night, Lincoln would sit alone, reading old letters, replaying conversations in his mind. During the Civil War, while the nation was breaking apart, Lincoln carried the emotional weight alone. He used humor as armor. He joked. He smiled. He told stories. Not because he was happy, but because sadness, if revealed, could weaken leadership. Lincoln once said, "I must appear strong, or I will become useless." History remembers his strength, but forgets the cost. Not controlling them. One ancient account states that Cleopatra could change her tone, her words, even her posture, based on who stood before her. That is not beauty. That is intelligence. History chose the easier story. The real one was far more impressive. Part 5. Nikola Tesla, a mind. Living in the future. Nikola Tesla lived ahead of his time. So far ahead that his world could not understand him. Tesla believed numbers had meaning. He arranged his life around patterns. He washed his hands obsessively. He avoided physical contact. People called him strange. Some called him mad. But Tesla saw things others could not yet imagine. Wireless energy, remote communication, invisible forces shaping reality. He once said, "The present is theirs, the future is mine." And history proved him right. But Tesla died alone, nearly forgotten, while others took credit for ideas born in his mind. Part 6. What history chooses to hide. These people were not legends because they were flawless. They were legends because they moved forward despite fear, despite doubt, despite inner battles. History celebrates success. But success is built on struggle. Every great achievement was once an uncertain step. Every famous name was once a confused human being. Final reflection. Maybe the real lesson of history is not greatness. Maybe it is courage. The courage to continue when no one understands you. When your mind feels heavy. When your path feels unclear. Because the people who changed the world were not different from us. They were human. If this story helped you see history not as distant names, but as real human lives, please like this video. And if you want more deep, respectful, and thought-provoking history stories, subscribe to the channel and turn on the bell icon. Because here, history is not just remembered, it is felt.